Oh, okay. Guess we're going for a walk. All right, here we go. Mm.
You.
Man, fuck you.
Uh-huh. So, are you running that Spire, or the mod organizer?
No, I'm not even playing Skyrim right now.
Who are you playing?
Uh, Gray Zone. I'm about to go get fucked up.
Negative. All birds are in the air. Request denied. All available
So did
birds
you
are
figure
in
your
flight.
shit out or no?
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
No.
I just started downloading a script extender for it, and I ended up going to bed the other night.
Okay.
Roger. Raven is in the air and heading to base camp.
There's a pretty big update for Gray Zone.
They say what they did.
Yeah, it's in the patch notes. It was like 20 gigs.
I know that shit beats the fuck out of me trying to play by myself.
Yep. Well, here I am, about to go do it.
I'm on my way. ETA 30 seconds. Raven here. Ready to head out. Ready up. We're taking off.
I seen an article the other day about this game. The article was basically bashing it. I'm like,
Wonder why.
well, because it's early access and everyone's bitching about, it's not
No.
done and this, that, and the other. It's fucking early access.
The
It
only
says it
thing I hope
right on
is-
there as you fucking
Yeah.
buy it.
But I hope they fucking do something to fix their fuck ups. Because I'm a little frustrated that I died a couple times over some absolute bullshit, dude. Alright, so I'm really starting to think I don't need that script extender.
Get
You
ready.
do for some of the
30
things,
seconds.
some of the mods. I was just reading on the Skyrim mods.
So is that going under the mod organizer, I take it?
It should, yeah.
Alright. I download, I have to open up a DLL reader for the fucking script extender, unless I can just put the whole, I think I can just put the whole thing in.
Move out!
All right. So today we're gonna do some gunny shit. We're gonna go down to this, get this little LZ here, so we can land down here and then die and come back and die and come back. So, oh, need to put my shiz on. There we go. All right. Whoa, bro. 60 FPS? What? What had happened?
Ooh.
All right. What'd they do to this?
Watch tutorial, so fucking ruin this.
No. I'm gonna have to go to my shit and fix it.
What's going on, everybody? This is going to be a big one. Not only did we get our first major patch for Grayzone Warfare that addresses over 200 issues players have been facing, but on top of that, I also got to talk to one of the developers over at Grayzone Warfare, and I want to talk a little bit about the future of this.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Software Knowledge Solutions, and today we're talking about Grayzone Warfare and its latest updates. Now, today I'm going to talk about the best settings you could use inside this game. Before we are living in 2024, we are almost in 2025, you're going to need to up your parts and actually move over to next generation computer parts, because we are playing next generation games. We are yet again almost in 2025. I know a lot of people are going to be like, yo dude, just get to the point, just get to the point. But ladies and gentlemen, this game is really delicate. It is... You have to physically tweak this game very specifically for you to get specific FPS, depending on the machine that you're running. Now, shout out to Deadeye Timmy for having that conversation with me and, you know, just going over everything and finding out what he was running and the frames he was doing. So I gave him a little bit of better settings in general that he could be using to make the game run much better. Now, I have a 14700K and I'm running DDR5 memory. Something I want to mention is DDR5 memory runs better than DDR4 memory in this new, basically AAA title game, because it's a newer generation game. It needs newer generation parts. Now, he's running DDR4, and I mentioned to him to get DDR5 memory. Now, if you're still on DDR4 memory, don't worry. There is still settings you can change to get more FPS out of this game, and it runs perfectly fine. Now, I'm going to go over the settings for you and show you the best settings you can use for the specific machine that you are running currently at this very moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to go through every single computer out there. It doesn't matter if you're running a low tier to medium end to high end to nuclear fucking launching missile machine. It doesn't matter what machine you're running. I'm going to show you the best settings you can use right now at this very moment for this specific game. Now, like I said, it's very delicate, so bear with me over here. Now, I'm running a 14700K DDR5 memory at 6000 megahertz and a 4070 Super. That is what I'm running as a machine. And I'm running all of these settings like this perfectly fine, and I'm doing really good FPS in my game. And there is no performance dips and stuff like that. Yeah, I can change a little bit of things inside here to get more FPS. I can do that. It is possible for me to do so, but I don't want it because I actually want to be able to see everything before I start changing things. I don't want to get more FPS because I'm already doing enough FPS as is while I'm playing the game. So everything I have over here, you can go ahead and copy these settings if you want to. If you have a machine like mine or higher than mine, you can go ahead and just copy this as is, and you should be good to go. Your brightness, your contrast, and your saturation. And your gamma. Gamma, I just leave at 100. That's its defaults. But please, ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. This over here, the brightness. You need to be able to see enemies that's sitting in dark corners. And it's just very important. Your contrast is your own personal preference. And then your saturation is your own personal preference. You can copy these settings if you want to. This is just my own personal preference settings when it comes to the digital vibrance and how the game looks. And just overall, I don't run stock settings. Alright, let's go over everything over here. So, I'm running obviously my screen, I'm running it at full screen, and I'm running it at 1080p. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to run this at 4K. I do have a 4K screen,
Why
but
is
I'm
this
not
shit
going to
so
be running this at
fucking
4K.
confusing, bro?
I'm obviously going to be then doing less FPS than what I'm currently doing in-game, and that's going to suck. So, rather either be playing your game at 1080p or 1440p. A lot of people are playing at 1080p or 1440p right now. Not a lot of people are pushing this game, an early access game, to 4K resolution. Not a lot of people are doing that. So what I suggest is dip down from 4K to at least 1440p or 1080p and be on that resolution. Now, if you're one of those people out there and you're running at 720p, that's all good. Just be on your native resolution. Now, yes, I'm saying native. If you have a 4K native screen, dim it down to 1440p and you'll get more FPS out of this game. I can promise you that. Do not run 4K. This is something that's been tested. You will be doing shit FPS. Okay. Now, this is something I want to mention as well is your field of view, so your FOV. The higher you put this, the less FPS you're going to be doing. Now, with my machine, I can run this at 75 and it runs perfectly fine. Now, the sweet spot for this is 65. Okay? So that is the sweet spot for most PCs out there. This matters for low end, medium, high end, to whatever machine you're running, to any machine that's struggling in general. Go at 65 over here. That's the field of view you should be at, is 65. You get more FPS because you are rendering less things in on the left and right hand side of your screen. So go ahead and put this at 65 and you should be good to go. So your VSync is obviously if you want to cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor. So let's say you have a 120 Hertz monitor, then you put this on and you'll only do 120 FPS. That's if your machine can reach that FPS. Or let's say you have a 240 Hertz monitor, then it will cap it at 240 Hertz. I have mine off, so I have uncapped FPS. These are my own personal preference. Frame rate limit, I put this on unlimited. The reason why I do this, so I do unlimited frames all the time. Background, you can do this yourself. A lot of people has their own personal preference here by putting this to like 30 for when you tab out and stuff like that. So you can leave that at 30 if you want to go ahead and do so, but I leave mine both at unlimited. That's my own personal preference. All right, now we're going to go over to the custom The reason why I have this at custom is because I changed a couple of things, all right? So you'll see what I mean by this, and you get your own presets inside you. So you get low, you get medium, you get high, and you get epic. That is the settings that you get inside here in the quality preset. Now I have mine at epic. Now this is what I suggest people do, right? You're gonna go here to low, and you're gonna hit low, and you're gonna come here to the bottom. You're gonna go to this one over here, and I highly recommend that you just change this one to medium. That will then change to custom, then just leave it as custom like this. Shadow quality is something that plays a very big role in this game. You want to have an advantage against your enemies, so basically go ahead and put this at medium as well, and this runs perfectly fine at medium. All right, texture resolution. Something about this game, you can put it at low, medium, high, or epic. It will do the exact same FPS. That's just something I need to mention to you people. Try it out yourself and you'll see that you'll do the exact same FPS. It doesn't matter what you put texture resolution on, because it's the rest of the settings that impact your GPU, your CPU, and your RAM. It's not the texture resolution setting. I just want to mention this. So you can go ahead and put this on epic if you want to, alright? Or you can just go with high and leave it at high, so you can have the best texture resolution possible in this game, alright? I'm just going to put mine on epic, because that's how I would run my game, because it does not impact FPS. FX quality is something that I do recommend that you can push up a little bit to medium, but if you have a very low end machine, I highly recommend you just go to low, because you don't really need to see much effects in this game. You really don't need to, like for instance, like really detailed stuff, like for instance grenades going off, or for instance leaves falling off of a tree. It is kind of a thing that you need to be honest with you. Like I said, you need to get a better computer eventually. We are in a new state right now, because if you put this to medium, high, or epic, you can actually see a tree move or a bush move and know that there's an enemy hiding inside there, because they're sitting in an LZ and waiting to get onto a heli and go back to their base. So I run my game at epic like this, so I can actually see the bushes move. Now, if your machine is tanking FPS at the effects quality, you're going to have this at least at medium or at low. Worst case scenario is that your machine is doing tanking FPS and doing shitty FPS, put this at low and you should be good to go. Reflection quality, you do not need to have this like at high at all. You really don't. You can have this at low. It does tank FPS. It really decreases FPS a lot with reflections, because reflections plays a very big role on your GPU itself. Right, foliage is something that I highly recommend you move over from low to at least medium, so you can see further away. If you look through your scope and stuff like that, and your setting for foliage is on low, the game kind of looks like dog shit when you look through your scope, and you want to be able to make out what the hell you're looking at, because you might be looking at a person or a bush and maybe mistake
Can't get no fucking
a bush for a
35
person,
FPS.
and be basically, I don't know, like paranoid.
I'm about to be joining you
paranoid,
because
so
this shit
highly
is
recommend
fucking
leaving the
overwhelming
setting
as fuck.
at either medium. If your machine can
I'm
handle
about to
high,
go back to
go with
base.
high, alright? But if your machine can't handle it, go with medium and you should be good to go here, alright? We're gonna go over these settings over here. Post-processing.
Game's
I
beating
would
my
recommend
ass.
that you
Like,
go ahead and
these
put this at
downloads
medium
are just-
as well. If the
it's
machine can't handle
ridiculous,
it,
dude,
then
for
go
real.
to low. Motion blur, obviously you don't
Like,
want this
why
on.
can't
It's
it
a
be something
multiplayer
as
game,
simple
put
as
it
fucking,
none. Right. Sharpening, I just leave mine at 100. It's my own personal preference,
Hey,
but you
here's
can
your
play
mods,
around with
drag
it
them into the
at your
fucking
own
folder and call it a
personal
day.
preference, all right?
Now you gotta
Colorblind
download
mode
this
is
for
something
this
that I
fucking
don't play
thing.
around
Yeah,
with.
God
I play around with it a
damn,
lot
bro.
on other games like
Fucking
PUBG,
meat
Apex
up.
Legends and stuff like that. But in this game, I don't touch it at all. So I just
Special
leave it off
edition.
and then just leave this at its default.
Like, I
which
need
is
this file,
10,
and it says
right?
literally beside
Now,
it. You probably
this is
want the
something I wanna
AE build
mention.
above unless
If
you know what
have
you're
an
doing.
NVIDIA
I don't know what the
graphics
fuck
card,
I'm doing.
And it's something like a 20
Piece
series
of shit.
and all the way up to a 40 series right now. Use NVIDIA DLSS. So
Traction.
DLSS. Use this as an upscaling method. Please go ahead and use this as an upscaling method. What the hell just happened to my camera?
Guys, one more fucking time
Anyways,
if it don't work, I'm
use this
saying.
as an
Fuck it.
upscaling method because it is the best, okay? Now, if you use FSR, sometimes the game just renders kind of shitty in some sense, but for people out there that's running FSR, be on an AMD graphics card when you
True.
run
Click,
FSR,
loader,
alright?
DLL,
If you have an AMD
copy.
graphics card, go with FSR. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you go with this,
Paste.
XeSS,
Okay,
and
they're all
you
in there.
go with AMD or NVIDIA with TSR. I don't really
Add-
recommend this
add
at all
new
though. But
file.
for low machines and you're struggling with FPS, go with TSR. Now, DLSS is going to be for the 20 series people out there, all the way to the 40 series from NVIDIA side. Now, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're running an AMD graphics card, go with FSR. Please go with FSR over here if you're running an AMD graphics card. Now,
it is working, Josh. I figured it out.
I don't recommend it. I recommend it for GTX graphics cards and stuff like that, like your 10 series, like your 1060s, 1070s, 1080s, and stuff like that. Go with this upscaling.
Now that that's done, I guess we're working on the actual fucking mods
generation. Now. When you go over to 20 series and stuff like that, you are going to go over to DLSS. It gives the best performance for that GPUs. Alright, now, if you have a 40 series like me in a GPU, I have NVIDIA DLSS frame generation on, and it actually basically increases FPS. I just pushed all the way to 200 FPS, as you can see, by just moving this to on, right? Okay, so having frame generation is basically AI created frames. So you have an actual frame and then an AI created frame and then an actual frame and then an AI created frame. Yes, I know they are called fake frames, but your game is not going to lag. It's not going to feel stuttery. It's not going to feel like you have less input in the game and stuff like that. I have this on, and this is how I play my game on a daily basis. So if you have a 40 series graphics card, put this on. Please go ahead and do that. Now, if you don't have a 40 series card, I do know that this is the only one that you have. Okay, is NVIDIA DLSS Super Resolution. The thing I just want to mention is this one over here. This plays a very big role on the game itself. It really plays a massive role on this game. Is NVIDIA DLSS Super Resolution. This is the most complicated setting inside this game, and I'm going to prove this to you just by standing in the menu. Alright, as you can see, I play my game at DLAA and I run my game perfectly fine like this. I like how the game looks, I like how it performs and stuff like that. It still performs perfectly fine, even though I'm doing 172 FPS in this menu right now. Now, watch what it does when I move this over from DLAA to off. If I put this off, now I'm doing 168. If I go from off to auto, I'm doing 209 FPS right now. If I move it to quality, I do 209 still as FPS right now. If I go to balanced, I do 224 FPS as max FPS. If I move this to performance, I do 236. And if I move this to ultra performance, I do 257. Now, as you can see there, that's basically just to show you what you can change in here to get more FPS out of your game. So please, choose wisely when it comes to this option. It's a very delicate option. Which one you're going to choose for which machine you are running, what graphics card you're running, especially what graphics card you are running. Now, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I run my game at DLAA. It looks really crystal clear, and it makes my game look more like a AAA title game, and this is why I run my game at DLAA. Yes, I can change it to like better performance or